today's video, you are going to learn the number one thing that scares narcissists the most. It's probably going to be a lot different from what you've heard. People will tell you the narcissist is most afraid of indifference or being exposed. And while they certainly don't like those things, there's actually something else that's even more terrifying to narcissists. Let's first touch on a couple of things that I mentioned just a moment ago about things that people believe narcissists are most afraid of. And the first one being that narcissists are afraid of being exposed. And while that may have some truth to it, narcissists are often able to regroup. So let's say you expose them to a circle of friends. Just like a cult leader, the narcissist will just get rid of that group of people and form a new tribe somewhere else. So while being exposed is certainly inconvenient, it's not something that narcissists are most afraid of. Or let's talk about indifference. So if you are indifferent to the narcissist, they're not going to like it because it's going to make them feel like they're losing power over you, which is honestly the most important thing to the narcissist. So you can be indifferent and it might cause them to hoover you or maybe start the love bombing phase all over again, but it's not necessarily something that really scares them. The number one thing that scares narcissists the most is that you will remember who you were before you met them. Beginning from the very first day that the narcissist meets you during that love bombing phase, what they're trying to do is replace your thoughts with their negative and toxic programming. They spend an extreme amount of time and energy love bombing you. That could be in the form of dinners and gifts, and really, let's face it, their time and energy. All those late night phone calls, the texting, and the damage control, because even when they're love bombing you, most narcissists still have someone else that they're stringing along, or perhaps even grooming along with you. During the love bombing phase, the narcissist makes you feel like you have never felt before in your life. By all accounts, this is often when people feel self-actualized for the first time in their lives. But let me tell you what's happening. That is the time when a lot of people fall in love with themselves. They actually love themselves for the first time in their lives. This is what helps the narcissist start to break you down. During the love bombing phase, you feel the most self-actualized at all of your unique traits, your dreams, your interests, your spirituality. The narcissist makes you feel like they are the same as you and that you are very unique and special for those things. And make no doubt about it, you are special. But then after the love bombing phase, the narcissist tries to do every single thing in their power to make you feel ashamed for who you are. They want you to feel embarrassed about your dreams and your hopes and your spirituality. So they start trying to tear you down fiber by fiber and thought by thought so that you will end up not liking yourself. That's the basic and ultimate goal of every single narcissist. So this is why most of them anyway will try to isolate you from your friends and family. They don't want other people telling you to leave them because they're not good for you. See, for the narcissist, it's all about control. So if the narcissist can change your thoughts, they will have ultimate control over you. And this is exactly what happens in most cases. So the narcissist considers you an investment in their future. They don't want to lose all the money they've spent, the time and energy they've invested, and the damage control. Those things are very inconvenient for the narcissistic individual. Now, in the beginning, during love bombing, yes, they might seem to be entertained and that they're enjoying themselves, because everyone enjoys being entertained if you go on vacation or go to the movies or have a nice dinner. But if you'll think back, you'll probably remember little small things that they did or said to make you doubt yourself. So maybe they said they admired you for your art, Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you make music. But then suddenly, after a couple of months, they're coming back and they're starting to criticize your art and your music. Or maybe you're a leader at your job and they start to make you doubt your leadership skills. Maybe you're studying for a really big exam to become a lawyer, for example. And they start to break you down little by little so that you doubt your own intelligence. So basically what the narcissist is trying to do almost from day one is to reprogram your mind. And that's a large part of what narcissistic abuse is the reprogramming of your mind. So you've probably heard a lot about people saying that you're wounded and because you're an empath, that is what attracted the narcissist into your life. We can't really walk down the street in our neighborhood without encountering a narcissist or two. Think about it this way, and this is a point that one of my students brought up recently that really just hit home for me. Telling someone that they attract narcissists because they're kind-hearted and because they're an empath with no boundaries is like telling someone who's been the target of physical defilement that they deserved it because of what they were wearing. So that's an old paradigm that we need to start busting. So maybe you did attract a narcissist, so to speak, because you're trying to make a connection, they're love bombing you. So it feels like they're trying to get to know you as a person, and that's all very exciting. What we have to do, though, is when those red flags start popping up, instead of brushing them under the rug and telling yourself that you're being compassionate, that you're giving them some space to maybe heal their own wounds, after the first few yellow or red flags, that's when you need to really sit down and have a talk with yourself. Is this person triggering some uncomfortable feelings? Are they criticizing you? Do they make you feel like nothing you do or say is ever good enough? You're going to know, your intuition is going to tell you if that person is emotionally safe for you or not. So we don't want to fall back to the old paradigms that say, hurt people, turn the other cheek, give them the benefit of the doubt. Well, maybe the first couple of times, but after that, you just need to cut that anchor and sail away. Even if you've been in the relationship for a while, even if you've been intimate with them already, if they start trying to control you by making you feel bad about yourself, that is the number one indisputable red flag that you are dealing with a narcissist. So the moral of today's story is the number one thing the narcissist is most afraid of above anything else is that you are going to remember who you were before you met them. Because if you remember that, if you remember how unique and divine and beautiful you are, you're not going to spend another day with someone like that. And that terrifies them to the core. They don't want to have to deal with that sunk cost situation. Because once a narcissist has brainwashed you, they consider you their property. That's why they come back hoovering all the time. You're there as a commodity. You're there as an investment. And so when they start to sense that you're getting some of your independent thought processes back, that's why they kind of teeter back and forth between love bombing you again and then tearing you down. They're giving you that really strong intermittent reinforcement, which is the biggest foundation of a trauma bond. So if that describes your relationship, you are dealing with a narcissistic individual. And you'll need to get to a point where you decide whether you're going to stay and just kind of get more of the same, unfortunately, or if you're going to take those steps to take your power back and reclaim your life. And if that sounds like something that you want to start doing, make sure you check down below for the links in the description box because I've put some really great resources down there for you. I hope this video has been helpful. If you found it helpful, please like it and share it with your friends.